Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. So, today is March 10th. I'm right now in Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Had a long layover, 14 to 16 hours here. So, I'm at a airport hotel through the day, going around my normal routine. Including the morning practices, yoga, meditation, as well as now recording this dose of Rashmi. And I have a few other calls that I'll attend to before I head back to the airport and continue my journey onward. On to Seoul and then Boston. If you remember, I talked about this a few days back on how I used AI to give it prompts about what my constraints were when I was looking to replan my travel. And based on that, I came up with this itinerary, which overall is fairly relaxing and gets me where I need to be, as well as doesn't really disrupt my overall routine or schedule in any significant way. So now let's go ahead, get started for today. So the dose of Rashmi today is unconscious intelligence is strongly attached to perceived identities and operates in a plan and protect mode. Wisdom, wisdom, on the other hand, is being fully open to receive the grace, that is energy, that can help you do things that you yourself could never do. So the dose of Rashmi came about based on Sadhguru's insight about how being open to receiving grace can make you do wonders. And I think grace becomes, for those who are very logical and scientific minded, grace becomes maybe a leap too far. However, this is where throughout this series, I've been trying to address this from a perspective of if you really think that the universe is all about energy, frequency, and vibration, you can think of this as energy. And in order to receive energy from external sources, you have to be open. And that is, in a way, how you can address from a logical mind perspective what it means to receive grace. Now, for today's dose of Rashmi and applying the three-layer Rashmi architecture to this. So, at layer, we predominantly operate in the plan and protect mode. For those of you who have followed me regularly, you will recognize the plan and protect from Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor's whole brain living. So those are the left brain quadrants, and then there's explore and connect on the right side. So at layer one, we are strongly identified with whatever identities we have taken on, and anything that is threatening to that seems like an existential threat. And of course, if you think about this, if we continue operating at this layer, then AI becomes a significant threat. Anything that we do with AI, it is going to be threatening the plan and protect and the identity that we have taken on. At layer two, or what is equivalent of the growth mindset, we do go beyond plan and protect. The people who are operating at this are very good at exploring new possibilities, even forming new connections. And as we have talked about in the past, they are extremely fixated on the objective of whatever they are trying to achieve. And that is growth mindset in action. They take setbacks, they learn from that, keep moving forward. And they are, of course, planning and protecting. At the same time, they are open to exploring and connecting and rethinking new ideas and whatever helps them move forward towards the objective. And such people will use AI as a tool to advance their objectives and will be effective in utilizing AI to move forward. As you can honestly see, some of the most successful entrepreneurs and leaders in the AI era right now are doing this because this is how they are operating. However, the downside of this is if there are multiple such individuals who are doing it, they all have different identities that they are associated with, different corporations, different nationalities. So This is naturally going to perpetuate the race dynamics, as I've talked about in the AI future modeling scenarios of race to conscious grid. So this is why when you look at the AI futures report or the Citrini research report, anything that has currently been modeling the AI future scenario, they cannot foresee anything that can exist beyond the race dynamics. And this is where, if you now turn your attention to layer 3, you do realize, coming back to the identities, that every identity that you have taken on is just a perceived reality that you constructed. And while it is very powerful in terms of us humans working together, when that identity is no longer serving what you truly care about from a place of complete alignment, you have the ability to change that, whether that is an individual human being or a system like an institutional system or any corporation, company, shared identity like a nation. You can evolve the system based on realizing that whatever identity that you are deeply associated with is, at the end of the day, a constructed reality. It is not a real reality in the sense of the physical world. So you have the ability to change it and move forward towards whatever emerges from a place of complete alignment, whatever you care about. And that clarity you are able to get at layer 3 if you're operating at the layer 3 of the Rashmi identity architecture. And when you do that, the conscious grid becomes natural. It just emerges. And as I've been modeling this race to conscious grid scenario, and as I've talked about, I've been modeling from an economic lens how we would go from a friction economy to regenerative outcome economy. If we really start operating with this level of clarity and we start working towards what we genuinely care about, the conscious grid will emerge. And you will also recognize that clarity and care are the two C's of the wisdom led operating model that I've talked about extensively in this series in the past. The wisdom led operating model is clarity, capacity, care, and continuity. So I'm really excited about how this series is evolving. It is turning into a blueprint of how the future AI is a technology as well as a human societal ecosystem, institutional ecosystems, environmental ecosystems can potentially evolve such that we start working towards human and plant centric outcomes. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.